Dude, what's going on? Shit. Hey, man. I'm gonna make this video again, man. I don't know what to say. Um, I know, like, people. Here's the thing, like, people, when they're used to doing things a certain way, they don't know no better. So, like, when somebody trying to tell them something different or a different way of thinking, like, people get emotional about certain things. So, like, here's the deal. This is like a part two of real definition of an owner operator video, because I've been going, like, talking to a few guys on there, and it's very interesting because it's like, don't get me wrong, like, it holds some street value, you know what I mean, to say that, okay, I own a truck, I own a piece of equipment, I'm an owner operator. That holds street value. But, like, guys, like, see, trucking comes from a place of, like, trucking is a homegrown type business. Like, if you look at the trucking companies and you look at the names of these trucking companies, a lot of them, they have a professional presence, but a lot of guys who run in these trucks, they didn't go to college. I mean, there's some college graduates that went to college. They don't know business law. They don't know the terminology and the theory behind business and what it means, what a business means, what being in business means. They don't know what that means. So it's like, a lot of guys don't understand that, okay, the difference between having a truck and having a business. Like, they think the truck makes them an owner operator. You know what I mean? Like, when that isn't true, man. Like, because I had to learn it myself. I've been researching. Before I got this truck, before I signed the lease on this truck, I researched. And it came to terms, I was like, because I talked to guys, I've been in this business almost 10 years, 8, 9 years now. And, like, when I first got into this business, I didn't know what's an owner operator, what's a company driver, what makes an employee, what makes a contractor. I didn't know that. So I've been researching. And, like, I've been reading, talking to guys, talking to business owners, and I came to conclusion that a truck doesn't make you an owner operator. Now, it feels good to call yourself an owner operator. I'm an owner operator. I got a truck. But equipment doesn't make you an owner operator, okay? Having a business organization that's down to make a profit makes you an owner operator, okay? This is what an owner operator really is. By business, law, IRS. You know, if you have a master's degree in business, this person would tell you what makes you an owner operator. If you talk to the IRS, they would tell you an owner operator is somebody who owns a business and works in that business and operates on a day-to-day basis. If you don't do that, you're not an owner operator. So, if you own a truck and you drive that truck, you are an owner operator. I'm not saying you're not an owner operator if you own a truck, but you got to understand why you're an owner operator. Because you own the truck and you drive it for a profit, for your business. For example, if you have a company, ABC incorporated, that's leased on to a company, you are owner operator because your business is contracted to do work for that company. You're driving the truck. You doing your taxes. You're managing paperwork. You're doing invoices. You're managing that truck. You're running your logbooks. You're running that business. That makes you an owner operator. Equipment doesn't make you an owner operator. That's by definition, not street value or how I feel and all of that. It's not something I made up. I read this in a book. I talked to business owners. I've talked to tax professionals. That's what they classify being an owner operator. Okay? If you own a business and you work in the day-to-day operations of that business, you are an operator, just like driving a truck. That's what makes you an operator. You can lease your equipment. You can buy your equipment. You can go to a bank and borrow the money for your equipment. It's just equipment. It's just equipment to do the job. If you a salesman, right? A contracted salesman, right? You lease a car to do your sales. You lease a computer. You lease your cell phone. All of that. You still an owner operator in that business. You own a business. That's what makes you an owner operator. You're in business. Working in that business makes you an owner operator. You can be sole proprietor. You could be a limited liability company. You can be incorporated. Okay? You could be a partnership. Okay? That makes you an owner operator. Simply owning the truck doesn't automatically make you an owner operator. Okay? That's not me. This is shit I read in a book. Those are facts. Okay? I had to learn it myself. That's something I learned. Okay? That's what it is. I'm sorry. Like, a lot of guys have this emotional street value thing connected to their truck, where it's like, they're like, oh, I went to a bank and borrowed the money and bought my truck. Leasing a truck is the same thing. I crunch the numbers to this shit. Like, I have notebooks with numbers in them. I crunch the shit. The difference between going to a bank and borrow the money and putting down on a truck and going and lease a truck from a leasing company is the same payment. It's the same payment. You making the same payment. It's like $50 less. Sometimes it's cheaper to lease a truck because you don't have to make a down payment. You don't have to come up with capital up front. Me personally, I will go lease a truck. I will go to MHC. I wouldn't go through a company like Snyder or Lance or Swift. I would go to an independent leasing equipment company and lease a truck like MHC, Ideal Equipment, Ryder, Penske. Those companies lease equipment. I will go through them. That way you make the payment through them. You're independently separated between the company you get the work from. I wouldn't do work with the same company you get the truck from. I wouldn't do that. But if you crunch the numbers, it just doesn't make good business sense to go and put capital up front where you can keep that capital in your business. Why put down $10,000-$15,000 where you can keep that $10,000-$15,000 in your checking account, business checking account, for other business operations for your business? Don't go to a dealership and put $15,000-$20,000 down on the truck when you can keep that money and go lease a truck and pay the same payment. It's the same payment. You can pay the truck off in the same amount of time. You might pay maybe $100 more a month. You know, I've crunched the numbers. Okay, I've done it. It just didn't make any sense for me. I got money. I got the money to go put down on the truck. But I didn't do that. I was like, nah, I'd rather keep that money and go lease a truck. I got, you know what I mean? I got $5,000-$10,000 to put down on the truck, but I don't want to do that. All right. This video is running a little long. My phone is acting up, but I just wanted to clarify that, man. Y'all can call yourselves whatever you want to call yourself, but I'm doing business with Snyder and Snyder Finance. My contract has all this stuff laid out. This is the terms that they classify me as doing business. So that's what I have to go by. Okay? The business law is back them up. So it's like if I have a problem between my contract and I go to court, what I'm gonna say? Oh, I'm not an owner operator. I'm a lease driver. Like, you know what I mean? But it does have street value, because you go to a truck stop and you tell a guy who wouldn't pay cash for their truck and then a guy who leased their truck standing next to each other, they're gonna be at it. You know what I mean? But I don't got time for ignorance. That's ignorance, because business is business. The same amount of money come in my pocket. Okay? It's like, if you lease a truck and you own your truck, you're going to spend the same amount of money every year. Okay? You're going to spend the same amount of money. Either your truck, your used truck, going to be in the shop, or you're going to have a lease truck that's new and you're going to be on the road more. It just depends on what you want to deal with. And I've talked to fleet owners. I've talked to them. So it's like, it just depends on your business. It depends on what type of business that you have. Maybe you run local, so you don't need a brand new truck every 3-4 years. You run short runs. But if you on the road all the time, you running those long loads, you need a reliable truck that's going to handle them miles. You know what I mean? Now, granted, I know some guys who got old ass trucks, a 2004 Freightliner. He rebuilt that engine. Like, what he does, he goes to Freightliner and he goes and buy a Series 60 engine. You buy a brand new 60 engine, Series 60 engine, drop in there. It's a brand new truck, reconditioned. You know what I mean? You get a warranty. You good for another 1,000,000 miles, 500,000. So there are ways to run a used truck. But me, as a first year owner operator, I feel like I don't have that capital right now. You know what I mean? To do that. So it's going to take some time for me to get to that level where I got 50 grand in the bank. And I can just go, okay, I'm going to go buy an engine from my equipment. Just write it. Boom. You know what I mean? I don't have that right now. That's a goal that I'm striving for, to get to that $50,000, $60,000 cash in the bank. And I can just go buy 2 or 3 used trucks and just put them in the shop. And boom. And put new motors in them. And put freight on them. You know what I mean? That's a goal that I want to get to. Have that cash reserve like that. Have 100 grand. Boom. But right now, this is what I have to do. So it's just like, that's just what it is, man. That's business. That's business. It has nothing to do with trucking. Trucking is a business. You know? Any business on the corner, on the street, you think a business on the corner owns that building, and the guy that's running it, he's a owner operator. You know what I mean? And I had to understand that myself. But yeah, it's 14, 15 minutes, man. But yeah, you can call yourself whatever you wanna, but I have no choice but to go by what business law and the IRS and the contract that I signed. I have no choice but to go by that stuff. I can't go by street value and old timers and trucking, and like, y'all ignorant. You know, I can't argue with ignorance. If you refuse to listen to the truth and you blind, I can't help that. So that's the deal. All right. I see y'all next video.